Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Community Board meeting for October, 2nd of October, 2023. We'll commence with apologies. We have two apologies. Ron Merrin, our chairperson, and Tori Muller. Can I have a mover and second that they be accepted? Steve and Katrina, thanks guys. As far as I'm aware, there's no late items. Is that correct? Thank you. Declarations of conflict of interest. Any declarations of conflict of interest? No, I don't think any conflict at the moment. Moving through this at a rat race. Confirmation of the last minutes from 4th of September. They were circulated. I assume we've all read them. Can I have a move and seconder, or is there anything that needs to be spoken to and then changed, altered? All good? Steve will move in a seconder, please. Joe. Right, public forum. We do have public forum today. Thanks, Dave. Dave Williams has come from BT Home. Give us a presentation, so you don't have to stand there, Dave. You can come and take a seat. All good. All good. We just want to wait for some pictures to be in place, I believe. Oh, you need to use the microphone as well, yeah. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I know I've got 5 minutes and I'll be quick. My name is David Williams and I'm the manager of Beatty Village. I have a contract with the Beatty Community Trust, Beatty Charitable Trust, to look after the village, and I've had a request from several of the people living in the village to meet with you to talk about a tree. And I've also been asked by the Beatty Charitable Trust for the same reason, for council to have a look at the trees. So it's a joint approach from me. The trees are right on the edge of 3 residential areas. There's 19 people, actually 22 people living in the village itself. There are 19 units there, and there are 20 beds in the home itself, Beatty Home, and another 20 or so, I think, in the Papakainga, the dementia centre. So overall, there's about 100 people within about 100 metres of these trees, and they're quite a problem to us. They are not particularly significant. The redwood tree is not a native, and it's one of many that was planted in the Ōtorohanga district. There's 40 in Rotary Park, and they're planted all over the place. They're very popular about 30, 40 years ago. Around here, they struggle because the tops get burnt out by our winds, and they often become very, very straggly. Can we actually see it? See the picture of the trees? They also drop a lot of litter, particularly the pollen, and the pollen is a known antigen to people. It causes a lot of asthma, and we've got a lot of sick people there and elderly people there, so it's a problem for that reason. But the pollen collects, this is the tree right in the middle of the picture, and to the left of the picture you'll see the dementia centre with the solar panels. We have a wonderful dementia centre there now. The tree was there before the dementia centre, but we're really asking if we could take that tree out. The tree is quite distorted. If we could have another look at that tree. Well, you can see a lot of dead branches in it when you're out on the street, but I can't quite see them from here. But you can see how close it is to our solar panels here. It's the litter, the pollen, the leaves, the needles that are a problem to us. The tree is on road reserve, and we would like council to remove it. Right next to that tree is a variegated elm. I think it has been planted there, but it's again a very, very common tree, and it drops its leaves also, and it would be very good if we could get that one removed. But the big one that is a problem to us is the redwood tree. Not far from there, and I haven't got a picture of it, there's a self-sowing Japanese walnut tree. It's just a nuisance pest tree, but it's growing big and getting away, and I really hope you can do something about it. The Beatty Charitable Trust, we're in the village, is really pleased to be right next to the Island Reserve. It's a lovely spot, and a lot of the people in the village have got quite long connections to have played sport there in the past, and it's they've got quite a connection to them. But we'd really like that big tree in particular taken out, if possible. We just point out that there's other developments happening around Ōtorohanga Terrace, and with that tree taken out and a few more trees planted around, it could be a great improvement for everybody, not only the people in the village, but for the home and dementia centre and the island itself. And the Beatty Charitable Trust is quite prepared to pay and plant 5 trees if that's a suitable substitute for taking out the tree. That finishes my submission on that. Can I make one more submission? I've got 1 minute, I think. In the reserve here in the Memorial Park, there were for a very, very long time 2 very historic guns from the First World War. One has been missing for about 3 or 4 years. It was taken away, I understand, to be restored. That gun has been restored 3 times since it's been there, and it doesn't need much restoration. The thing is, it's really big. It shouldn't take that long for it to be restored, and there's been many requests in the past for it to be sold, and it could be something that could disappear from us, and it gets, someone says, oh, I had it, but it was stolen. So can we track it down and get it restored, please? Okay, and I know you can't make a decision on these things now, so I take my leave.
Thank you, through you, Chair. Hi, Dave.
Hi.
Just, you say you have 5 trees to give to replant,
Yes.
that they may have, what type of trees are they?
We'd leave it to you and the management plan,
Cool.
reserves management plan.
Yeah.
I've got all this in writing, if I may give it to you in writing, just so that you remember everything.
Oh, that'd be great. So
I only printed 6 copies, but everything I've said is in there.
so those pictures, you said there was an elm next door to it, which
Yes.
is also a little bit of a problem. Are you
Yes.
getting a lot of the leaves and
Yes,
everything?
yes.
Yeah. Into your gutter systems and
Yes.
everything else like that? Yeah.
Yes.
And then along from that, going towards the Tennessee end of Ōtorohanga Terrace, is another tree. Is that correct?
It's a self-sown Japanese walnut tree. which-
Self-sowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a problem tree in our reserves and in our rivers and everywhere else, and it's the birds spread it, and it's just self-sown
Yeah.
there. And I think I've cut it out. I cut it out myself years ago, but it's grown back.
Great. Thank you, Dave.
Okay. Any other questions?
Thanks, Joe. Any other questions?
Yeah, good day, Dave. There you go.
Hi.
Hey, I presume you canvassed the neighbours around that area. Are they all in favour of this?
No, I haven't. No, we are the main neighbours. There's
Yeah.
100 of us there, and
Yeah.
no, I can get that.
But further, I mean, if there was, yeah, I'm just questioning just in case there was an objection from somebody a bit further down the road or something because they like the look of it or something. I'm
Yeah,
not sure. You know, it's-
If you could see the tree, it's not the most handsome.
yeah, no,
tree.
I'd
I'd be quite happy to talk to the neighbours,
Oh, yeah.
and if that makes any difference.
Yeah, it's certainly, yeah. I mean, we don't want to cut it down one day and then have 5 people down the street go, why has that been cut down? We liked it.
Yeah,
I'll just hypothetical.
And you might have to advertise, I don't know, but I hope not. I hope it can be just taken down.
No, that's right.
I will mention perhaps that the timber is salvageable. There's good redwood timber in there, and there's a market for it.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, okay, thank you, Dave.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Okay, thank you,
Appreciate your
Peter.
time. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Welcome to the Maori Trust. We'll just get on with the item we want to talk about and we'll call you up. Thanks, guys. Awesome. Right. That being discussed, we will move on to item number, get there just now, 21. And hand over to the man on my right, yes. Thanks, Ross.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and kia ora board members. I'll take the report as read, but I will just highlight the feasibility study for the Ōtorohanga multi-purpose facility and just remind board members around the process by which this has become a project for consideration. It did come through initially as an idea in council's draft long-term plan process for 2021. In considering the submissions that came through, council agreed that it would best form part of the Ōtorohanga Town Concept Plan process, which it did. Through that process, some further feedback indicated a preference for a general community facility that had an arts and culture component to it. This has been confirmed or identified as a priority project through the council and the board's consideration of all of the projects that were identified in the town concept plan. And the priority element being the completion of the feasibility study, which would determine the level of need in the community. And so this process has deliberately been awarded to a consultant to ensure that the process is independent and transparent. And I've included in the report some of the background, but also the scope of the feasibility study work and the intention that those within the community that have a particular interest in this project are engaged early in the feasibility study process, and meeting appointments have already been made in terms of those groups. So while the scope document sets out a number of organisations, that is not intended to be an exclusive list, and the opportunity does sit there for other groups and organisations to be part of the process. And of course, there will be an opportunity for the wider community to have their input and provide their feedback as we go through the process. So at this stage, the intended delivery time is May next year, but it may be completed sooner than that. And then it will come back to the board and then ultimately the council through the decision-making process. And depending on the outcome of that, and there's no guarantee that the feasibility study will confirm the need for a centre, but if it does, it will provide some scope as to what that might look like. And no doubt, if that's the case, it will then be considered by council for inclusion in the draft long-term plan. Happy to take any questions on the whole report or that matter in particular, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions?
Through you, Chair. Hi, Ross. Just on page 3 of your feasibility study project brief, under F, it says there, any other site deemed suitable having regard to the identified and assessed needs, opportunities and constraints. Is it a possibility that that multi-purpose facility be considered as part of the Ōtorohanga Sports Hub as well, utilising, especially in a smaller district, it all coming together in one spot? Because you've got those other areas that you've noted, you specifically noted in this scope. Could that be included as a place?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I wouldn't rule out that location being appropriate for a centre, but at this stage, I think it's premature to speculate whether that particular location is or will be identified through the process. But if the needs assessment work that's undertaken identifies other areas and that's one of them, then so be it.
Okay, probably a bit misunderstood what I said. All the others have been noted as places to be looked at. So really what I'm saying is, can that be noted as a place to be looked at in regards to combining those as a possibility, like 120 Manipoto Street, the council, the Ōtorohanga Club? That's what I'm saying.
So those other sites were identified through the town concept plan
Right.
Process.
Yep.
So if it's the view of this board that the feasibility study consider other locations and that one of those locations is a co-location with a potential future sports hub, that I think that's up to the board. I would note though that one of the considerations that the town concept plan identified was a town centre location rather than a wider town location.
So the Island Reserve is a wider town location.
In the context of the town concept plan, it was the town core, the
Core.
central area that was identified.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Joe. There's a lot of stuff to get a head around there. Any other questions? Speak nothing. Okay, sorry, I just thought you were taking a deep breath before saying something. Thanks, Ross. Yeah, I mean, it's a journey we're on and it's quite a way to go. Thanks for that input. And yeah, that's just information, so we don't have to move or second anything on accepting that, do we, or do we have to accept it? Yes. Mover and a seconder that report be accepted, please. Joe. All right, there's no public excluded report, so on to board projects. Picnic in the park, I don't know, you may have seen, but I suppose we should just read what board member Muller asked us to read, I suppose, if I can find it. Yes, please, thanks.
Tori's looking at December, as November did not suit a majority of the food trucks. So one of the first Fridays, she just needs to confirm with summer soccer when they're having their tournament. The band's still to be advised, confirmed. She had a question: if we start charging the food trucks a small amount to be there, where is this money going? I.e., what account would she give them? And she's doing the events form for council, and she'll have that back to council by the end of the week. Events box update. We just got the cord map we had been waiting for. From my attendance, everything's now been received. But I think on that we're going to have some discussion about adding to our events box. So when council had their town concept roadshow thing happening, they've got a bubble machine, they've got a big mat that kids can sit on, some toys, a speaker. So yeah, we need to have some discussion whether we want to add to that or like have our own, because yeah.
Joe, Steve, thoughts on that? I mean, Katrina did circulate some of this, just on adding to that events box. Okay. Do we? Is it doubling up unnecessarily? Could we use what council have got, or is that?
I did ask the question and I was told no,
Okay.
because things go missing, but it might be another conversation to have with Tanya again, because she was gonna look into that.
Okay. Well, perhaps, I mean, I fully agree that the more we can have that kind of stuff around, the better. If we can use what's already there, that'd be first choice, but if not, then we can get back and discuss it ourselves. You all right with that?
Yes.
Cool.
Mr. Chairman, can I just add to that? I think if the board are considering, equipment for events, it may be appropriate to look at those or that equipment being set up in a way that the wider community or community organisations might be able to tap into it. So rather than community organisations maybe relying on equipment from council, there's a separate pool of equipment that's available. And perhaps administered.
Yeah.
In an appropriate way
It's-
or location.
It's a different discussion to be held, and we will, thanks for that, Ross, we'll take it on board and have that discussion. Please, can one of us remember to have that discussion?
Yeah.
Thanks, Katrina. The connectivity trail,
Yeah, hi. We met with Ross, Katrina and I last week just to get some information in regards to the long-term management plan and the reserve management plan. About where these fitness stations could go and if they were okay to go where we're looking them to go. And Ross has given us a map for us to do a basic plot of fitness station here, for want of better words. In a relative circle is what we're thinking. And to then hopefully on Wednesday afternoon, I think, is Brasilio, am I meeting with Brasilio or Gary? I get confused, sorry. Oh, is it? There we go.
Thursday.
Thursday, is it? Oops, okay, Thursday. And just to go through if that's okay where we're looking at and that there's no real objections to begin with. And then for us to get together and put in what we want there, and get it, priced up. Because we don't want to go through all of this and we can't have that space, so to speak. Okay, or it's going to take too long or too much. So, that's been quite a good meeting last week. Yeah, and that's where we're at.
it's lovely to see things happening. Progress being made, so that's great. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for that. Watch the space. And the Kai Forest request has been received to remove the project as an official board project. Do you want to say anything about the Katrina or just?
Yeah, need it to be removed because it's not actually a board project, and it's a community project, and for us to go for funding, we're going under the development board's umbrella for a bank
Yep.
account, so just tidies it up.
Yep.
But an update on it, I don't know if you've noticed, but the police now have a new garden at the front.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So the staff recommendation is Ōtorohanga Community Board rescind resolution 035 and remove the Ōtorohanga Kai Forest as a board project. I'm assuming you would move that resolution. Katrina, seconder. Those in favour, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, carried. Thanks very much. And the Ōtorohanga Dog Park.
Still part of the long-term plan.
Yeah.
So just really connecting with Ross and keeping up to date where that can come in. So that we don't double up and use money that we don't have to use or have already been applied.
Yep.
Mm.
Next chap. Right, moving on to any other business, board member updates. Anything, Steve? Nothing. Trina? Joe?
No.
Yeah, it's good. Thanks. Community board discretionary fund, board now has 4,000. Right. Resolution register. So it's the Ōtorohanga Community Board confirming the removal of resolution 046, 047, and 051. The resolution register. I have them. You read through those, you happy with that? I have a mover and second of that, please, Joe. And Steve, thanks.
Just on that, with the lighting, decorative lighting, have we got a time frame on that? Undertaken in accordance with council's operational processes. That could be how long's a piece of string?
Where are we looking at?
The
46.
46.
46, okay, yep. Oh, yes. Thanks, Jared.
Sorry, through you, your chair. We've engaged with the contractor, and given them the go-ahead. He's ordering the lights, and as soon as we get a time frame of when those will be in, we will then be talking with our traffic management, who's been briefed already on the project. And once we get a time frame of those coming in the country, we will set a time frame and get them going. So I chased them up last week, and I'm just waiting for an answer. So as soon as I get that, we'll get that. But it's high on my list. We want them all nice and shiny for Christmas this year.
Someone who's on leave, that was a very efficient answer. Thank you, Jared. Go right, Katrina. Right, there being no other business, declare the meeting closed at 4:27 PM. Thank you all. And we're off air.